Hi, I'm Wayne Lowry, and before you swipe another video, let me tell you how a daunting accident led me to uncover a natural joint pain remedy that's been used for centuries by the Navajo people and can give anyone who uses it 100% healthy joints and muscles in just a few weeks, without prescription drugs, dangerous exercises, or expensive surgeries. And that's not all. I'll show you how, even though this method has been known for centuries by people that have only recently included modern medicine into their healing practices, there's actually scientific evidence found. In a recent groundbreaking research published by a world-renowned team of scientists and featured in the scientific journal Arthritis Research and Therapy more than 6 years ago, proving that this program is guaranteed to work for anyone, no matter if your joint pain was caused by chronic arthritis, trauma, genetics, overuse, tendon or ligament damage, bursitis, cartilage decay, or simply because of aging. You see, despite what you were led to believe, the real reason why you haven't been able to restore your joint health and flexibility is directly linked to a dangerous leak starting from inside your nose right now that goes so deep inside your body. It ends up viciously attacking your cartilage tissues and causes almost irreversible damage to your joints. But once you understand how this process works, you'll be able to repair the damage it has done to your arms, legs, and back, and regain your mobility and flexibility in just a few short weeks. In fact, this program is 100% natural and it's guaranteed to work for you. No matter how bad your joint pain has gotten over the years, no matter if you're 18 or 80 years old, or if you've been suffering from this condition for a year, 10 years, or for all of your life. So if you feel that your sore and stiff joints are getting worse by the day and doctors are telling you that there's not much you can do about it, it's all right to be skeptical right now. I understand. After all, you've been lied to and manipulated all this time and led to think that the only way to restore your once pain-free and flexible joints is through risky and expensive surgery. But today, you can change all this. Because even if this presentation sounds too good to be true, I promise you, you will want to hear every single word of it, as it is guaranteed to completely change everything you thought is true about why you've been losing your ability to move your body like a normal person, and give you the only natural solution to regain your perfect healthy joints in just a few weeks from now. Over 85,000 men and women of all ages from all around the world have already followed this program and restored their flexibility and mobility. Here are some of their stories. Taylor Williams, 56 years old, from Madison, says, "I've seen a lot of people suffering from this disease, and when I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis last year, it was awful. I struggled with everything. The worst was just lying on my back. When I tried to turn and change positions, it was so painful. But this method changed everything. I got rid of all those drugs that made me feel even worse. It feels so unreal that I'll never have to take them again. I've never been healthier." Linda Meeks, 46 years old, from Fresno, says, "My knees had been killing me for years, and I was so scared that I would not be able to walk again. This was my deepest fear. When the pain started leaving me and I was feeling a little better, I couldn't believe it. I cried like a child because it was 4 rough years and now my knees are normal again. I wish more people knew about this solution. Thank you so much." Or Kevin Barton, a 52-year-old from Baltimore, who says, "I was told by my orthopedic surgeon that I would need surgery. I could not bend my knees and get up. I was devastated. But after 12 months in which I didn't go on with the procedure, I have 0 issues with my knees or other joints. My doctor was blown away. When I told him about this method, he said that more patients have to try it. Doctors don't say things like that. Sir, I thank you from the bottom of my heart." Stories like the ones you just heard are amazing, but they aren't unique. I receive messages like these every day, and each one of the tens of thousands of people who have tried this program agree to the same thing, that this program has completely changed their lives. And I should know, because not too long ago, I was in their shoes. You see, I've been suffering from tender joints and muscles since my college days. but I only realized how much it had advanced a few years ago. When my coworkers started mocking me for moving slower than their granny, getting up and sitting down with a face contorted by discomfort and pain, they used to call me Turtle like bullies on the school playground. Our new colleagues didn't even know my real name. Turtle was just perfect for me. I felt angry, humiliated, and isolated by everyone. When I finally had the courage to go see a doctor, I found out that I suffered from chronic arthritis. I was only 40 years old. All he could give me was a prescription or a full pack of pills, and he assured me that if I followed his instructions, those pills would stop it from advancing and block the pain. Yeah, right. Now, the first week I took them, I couldn't get rid of the gruesome headaches and the terrible stomach aches. I just had to go lay down because I had the feeling my head was going to pop open. And the worst part is that everyone was thinking I was just whining for no reason, even though the pain can drive you absolutely insane. You have to live with headaches and annoying stomach pain as if suffering from destroyed and tender joints every single minute of every single day wasn't enough. So I went back to the doctor and asked him for something else. I thought spending all that money on NSAIDs or whatever their name is, when I could have just taken fewer medications that were specifically designed for joints, and that's it. Yet again, boy, oh boy, was I wrong. Those corticosteroids were even worse. I think joint pain drugs should come with a huge warning sign saying, this will most likely hurt some way or another. Just a pill with a glass of water and that's it. It was supposed to be easy peasy. But these things inevitably turn you into a freaking mess, hit by every health issue there is. I followed every rule the doctor gave me to the letter every single day to no avail. One night, I just couldn't rest no matter what I tried. Suddenly, I felt a sharp pain in my abdomen. A few short minutes later, I was tossing and turning between the sheets like a crazy man, with sweat breaking out all over my body. I looked like someone who had been tortured for hours. My wife rushed me to the hospital, where I found out I had gotten a severe gastrointestinal infection because of the prescription I was on. I stayed in the hospital overnight, and I had to take, surprise, surprise, another pack of medications that would supposedly fix my stomach, and my joints weren't getting any better. In fact, the pain was killing me. Gosh, I could hardly bend my knees. So I made another appointment with my doctor to find out why my joints were getting worse, despite following his instructions religiously. He didn't seem surprised at all. He didn't even flinch. Apparently, a lot of people came back with the same problem. Being naive like I am, I asked why. His answer? Get this. He said, because people don't take the medication properly. I opened my mouth to say something, but I just couldn't gather myself to ask, what's the proper way to swallow a pill? You put it in your mouth and you just drink a glass of water. What else is there? I thought maybe I was lucky enough to get the worst doctor in the area. But I asked other people and friends affected by joint issues if they had the same problem, and they all confessed they've had to change their prescriptions so many times, they've lost count. It seems that all these pills really do is help take your mind off your sore and tender hips and knees for a couple of hours, because now you have to focus on stomach aches, headaches, dizziness, your recently skyrocketing blood pressure levels, and those newly gained chunks of fat around your waist. They don't really help improve your joints or even stop the pain from getting worse. And even if you opt for injections and not oral drugs, they have the same super ability of doing absolutely nothing in the long term. And as a bonus, you also get an increased risk of severe infection, nerve, and cartilage damage. Okay, so what am I supposed to do now? I asked my doctor. I swear, he didn't even wait for me to finish the question when he started telling me about this joint replacement surgery that will almost give me supernatural movements with zero pain in no time. And in his words, I'll be able to throw all the medications out of the window if I wanted to. Well, it all sounded magical, but getting joint replacement surgery? What if something happens during the process? I don't care if it's the safest surgery in the world. It's my knees and life we're talking about here. So I went home and started digging for info, hoping I'll find something absolutely horrible that can serve as the perfect excuse to chicken out of the whole thing. I wasn't expecting it to be that easy. In less than 5 minutes, I found dozens of articles and hair-raising forum threads with detailed explanations about the risks of joint surgery. Horrible infections, dislocation, malfunction, loosening, unbearable pain, and all that for a tiny price of just a few $1,000s. Just reading other people's experiences gave me cold shivers down my back. But I was desperate and I needed to find a solution fast. So I looked online for alternative solutions and decided to try them all. Chinese herbs, acupuncture, expensive oils, strange exercises, everything on the list. I was so desperate to find something, anything that worked, that I started tricking myself into believing I was making progress. I wish I'd known about this natural formula before the terrible accident that nearly got my father killed right before my eyes. And I want to stress the fact that I had taken my meds, was fully prepared, doing the right thing, but I was so used to my joints getting worse and worse, I didn't even notice just how bad it got. Let me explain. Last winter, we were out camping deep in the woods with nothing more than a canvas tent and portable wood stove. It's been a family tradition for generations and an amazing father-son bonding time. You see, I come from a long line of Navajo people, and I'm as proud as can be of my roots. Unfortunately, since my family stopped living on the reservation about 3 generations ago, moving to some of the bigger cities in the U.S., I've lost contact with the wonderful and mysterious culture of my people. The only thing I have left is that deep love for the wilderness bushcraft tradition that's been passed from generation to generation. And I'm happy to chew anyone's ear off about our extraordinary survival skills and the many awards my family has won along the years. So there we were, my father and I, in the forest, cutting some wood for the fire and fixing the stove. We would each take our turn with those tasks. As I was cutting and splitting logs, a familiar shooting-like sensation started taking over my back. I ignored it and wielded the axe with greater force. Again and again, until the pain washed over me and my upper body abandoned me. My hands literally froze. My shoulders, my fingers, my grip had all frozen. The axe slipped and fled off in the distance. Next thing I hear is a blood-curdling scream coming from just a few feet across me. I turned around to face my father, who I thought was sitting beside me fixing the stove, and he wasn't there. He was just a few inches away from me, lying on the ground, covered in blood. It took a few seconds, which felt like an eternity in hell, before I could gain back control of my body. I grabbed him, put him in the car, and rushed him to the hospital as fast as I could. The doctors kept asking me what happened, but I honestly had no idea. There I was, a cripple who had severely hurt his dad because he wasn't able to chop some wood. It was truly devastating. The doctors told me that the deep wound in his left leg had luckily missed all the major arteries. Otherwise, I honestly don't know how I could have lived with myself. So imagine my shame and horror when my family found out about my wood chopping accident, where I almost struck my own father to death because of my joint issues. I was already sunk in depression, and I wouldn't leave the house for weeks after the incident. Even my father was trying to convince me that it could happen to anyone, just to get me out of bed and to go on with my life. One morning, I heard my bedroom door bang open against the wall. There he was, my father, with my luggage in his hand, telling me to get up and get going. Where? I asked. To my brother, he said. He's going to do something about those joints, even if it's the last thing he does. I knew my uncle moved back to the Navajo reservation a few years before, and I hadn't seen him since. You see, my uncle was part of a long line of respected Navajo hunter-gatherers. People in his community said he could survive in the wild for weeks on his own, climb trees, mountains with ease, and hunt down his food, even in the most difficult and dangerous regions. He was the one that taught my father everything he knew about surviving in the wilderness, and I had great respect for both of them. If he insisted on seeing me after the accident, I could only imagine how disappointed and angry he was. But when I got there, the first thing he told me was this: "You're staying here for a month and you're going to get full control of your body back." Now, even though I respected my uncle and I knew he was well known for his community by extraordinary physical abilities, I just couldn't see how a month with him would help me restore my mobility. But I was feeling so guilty about striking my father with that axe that I just smiled and nodded and told my uncle I couldn't wait to get started. So the next morning, my uncle woke me up and told me everything was set up for me. I went outside and all I found was a glass full of a strange liquid that he made for me. I asked him, "What's this for?" "It's to help your knees, hips, and arms," he said. "Drink this every morning and you'll start seeing the effects very soon." I raised an eyebrow, but I drank it anyway. And to be honest, it was surprisingly tasty. A few days passed with me performing the same little ritual each morning. At first, I didn't notice any major changes, except for the fact that my energy levels had gone up and I was able to focus a lot better than before. I was feeling pretty ashamed since I wasn't seeing any improvements. However, my uncle encouraged me to keep going. But then, the very next day, something very strange happened. You see, until that day, every morning when I woke up and rolled out of bed, a shooting like pain would strike and I would instantly fall back for a few seconds. But this time was the other way around. When I threw off the sheets, all of a sudden I got up effortlessly. For a split second, I actually thought I was dreaming. So I lied down and sat up. I lied down, then sat up again. It was incredible. I was actually moving half of my body without pain and difficulty. I immediately started walking up and down and even did a squat or two, and it was quite shocking. For the first time in years, I didn't feel the slightest discomfort or pain. I could walk like any normal person. Of course, I couldn't jump around like a little kid for hours, but still, the days full of pain and cracking noises were history. That gave me enough motivation to keep the routine for the full month. Every day I drank this special mix my uncle had prepared for me. Every night after dinner, my uncle would come to test me. He brought me a guide and made me repeat certain exercises to see how much the routine helped. It was amazing. After a month was almost done, I could actually walk and run like a normal person. That's when my uncle came to me and told me that he was going to give me the final test the next day. But the next morning, when he woke me up and told me what I had to do, immediately said no. He wanted to take me bushcrafting and prove to me that I have no reason to worry about my joints anymore. But that wasn't it. No, he put an axe in my hand. And then we both went into the woods. He was so confident my arms and legs were perfect, he was risking his own life to prove it. I was shaking like a leaf. But the second I held the axe, I understood why he was so confident. I couldn't remember a time when I could move and control my hands and upper body this easily. And I've been bushcrafting since I was 18. It was the most incredible thing. In just a few weeks, I had 100% healthy arms, legs, and back like never before. My uncle told me to keep following the routine for another month to make sure the results would last. He wrote me the recipe and I continued to follow it religiously every day, testing my results and writing down every improvement. In just a few weeks, I had officially restored my flexibility and mobility just by following my uncle's centuries-old routine. And just when I thought things couldn't get better, somehow they did. I started jogging and lifting weights twice a week. I even noticed that the unbearable hip pain you get from driving and sitting around in the subway has gone. And an amazing thing I discovered, no matter how much effort I made and how much work I had to do, I never got sore joints and muscles again. You know those stressful, busy days when you work yourself so much your back and knees are about to explode. Your neck and shoulders are just doing those cracking, chilling noises. Well, that never happens to me anymore. The drink my uncle had prepared for me contains special organic compounds that nourish the joint tissues from the inside out, so they have everything they need to support any sort of effort. After that, I visited my uncle to thank him for the tremendous help he'd given me. I told him he's a better doctor than any one of those I've been to with their useless fancy diplomas. And that's when he said something that suddenly woke me up to the reality I'd been living all my life. He told me, "You know what's sad? That right now, scientists are discovering the same things that we, the Navajo people, have known for centuries. If we went out and said it, people would think of us as crazy old fools. But if a scientist says it, it must be true. Wayne, you now live in another world. When you have a problem, you go to the doctor who gives you pills. Those pills create other problems, and then you take more pills, getting caught in a whirlpool you can't escape from. But worst of all is that you choose this life yourself. If I'd come to you before the accident and told you, follow this method and you'll move perfectly without pain again, would you have listened? No, you would have thought I was insane because you trusted modern medicine more than your own heritage. Now, when your medicine disappoints you so brutally, you're willing to give the Navajo remedies a try, and now you'll see what you've missed all these years. All I can tell you is that I was blown off my feet, and then I made an appointment with my doctor. Weirdly enough, he wasn't the only one who was surprised. I was too. Even though he had seen me just 8 months before, he was all ready to give me a new prescription without even wondering why my condition was degrading so fast. He checked on my joints and asked me the regular questions. Does it hurt when I do this? Now this? And I could see that he was waiting for me to say, oh, this hurts so much. When I'd seen him before, that happened in a matter of seconds. Now, I didn't feel the slightest pain or discomfort. I just moved and swung my arms and legs like an athlete warming up, doing whatever he asked me to. This can't happen, he said. My doctor thought I faked the whole thing just to mess with him. And when he took a look at my x-rays and lab results, he even accused me that I had somehow slipped him someone else's test results. So he made me go through 4 more tests, some of them used by the military when they want to recruit people who are in superhuman shape. I aced all of them one by one. My doctor was staring at me like I was an alien. He just couldn't understand what happened. And to be honest, neither could I. So I decided to do a little research and see what's behind my uncle's formula. There had to be a scientific reason behind it, and I was going to discover it. I started with the ingredients. The first one that caught my attention was slippery elm bark powder. As it turns out, this amazing plant known as Ulmus rubra, originating from North America, has been used for centuries by Native people for several healing purposes like open wounds, skin conditions, sore throat, and digestive problems. It is even rumored that American soldiers had used it in paste form to treat battle injuries during the Civil War. Slippery elm is rich in calcium, magnesium, vitamin C, and zinc. Calcium is a very important mineral for our bone and teeth formation, and it's known to reduce inflammation and pain in the joints and especially the knees. Magnesium regulates and helps our body utilize calcium while ensuring bone and joint health and reduces the risk of injuries, fractures, inflammation, and tenderness. Vitamin C is vital for the formation of collagen, a crucial protein of our joint tissues and bones. According to the studies published in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences and PLOS, vitamin C is reported to reduce and prevent cartilage damage and degradation, eliminate joint inflammation and pain, and halt diseases like rheumatoid arthritis. And based on a different study from the Journal of Translational Medicine, vitamin C is also a strong antioxidant that can be used to slow down pain that comes from trauma and neuralgia. As for zinc, the scientific journals Nutrients and Cell Press explain how low but still excessive levels of this mineral in our bodies increase the risk of joint diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, and how just the right levels can prevent and protect cartilage tissue, blocking inflammation and pain. And this old and majestic tree not only preserves and nourishes your joints, helps strengthen your muscles and restore your flexibility in movements, but also protects them against a camouflaged tiny nasal mold. Now, here's where things get very interesting. So listen closely. This tiny mold is a non-visible toxin, one that enters our body through our nostrils and attaches its agents all over our nasal areas and passages. This is because our nose is a place with a high level of moisture and environment attractive to lurking toxins and microorganisms to settle in and multiply. Our nasal passageways are exposed to millions of threats every day, which try to corrode our deeper systems. For the most part, they hold strong and protect us, but there are always some exceptions. Yet the moisture areas in our nose are just the first phase of a bigger scheme. These molds don't aim to plague our nose, but rather to attach themselves to a place where they know they can rest without meeting any resistance. And that's our cartilage tissue. I didn't understand what this had to do with my joint pain, but I kept digging deeper and struck gold. According to a groundbreaking study published in the Journal of BMC Infectious Diseases and an article from the American College for Advancement in Medicine, these small toxic organisms are extremely dangerous, and they are the source of any joint-related disease such as chronic arthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. And this is because they bind to our cartilage cells, eating them away little by little. The cartilage is the biggest connected tissue found inside our bodies, located in our joints, nose, ears, lungs, and bones. It holds our joints together and is the main gear that controls their optimal function and health. Our joints make our bones able to move without pain, effortlessly and normally, acting as a protector against shocks and injuries, which they absorb. For our joints to control and shield the muscles and bones, the cartilage tissue must be intact because this is what keeps our bones from grinding against one another and our flexors from weakening. Once the cartilage starts suffering little hits, the first signs of tenderness and stiffness appear. The bones start rubbing one another. The whole area around your joint swells and becomes inflamed. Suddenly, moving becomes a hardship. Your muscles become sore, pain is constant, and your life has changed overnight. And the explanation to this is way simpler than you think. In fact, this research published in the Scientific Journal of the Mechanical Behavior of Biomedical Materials explains it all. The cartilage is the perfect place for molds to settle in because it lacks nerves and veins. This means that cartilage cells are more exposed compared to other parts of our bodies. Their defenses are extremely weak, and as a result, it makes it easier for foreign agents to attack and be successful. The cartilage-eating molds enter our bodies through our nostrils and through our respiratory system. They eventually reach our joints. Now, from a quick search, I found out these tiny molds have been around for ages. And while scientists first began to grasp their existence and behavior about 200 years ago, my uncle's ancestors had been dealing with them for centuries. And it makes sense. Molds live everywhere, on soil, water, air, plants, and even on dead and decaying matter. According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, they can also grow and live unbothered inside buildings and can be found in wood, paper, carpets, insulation, the ceilings, roofs, and windows. But this is something that no one talks about, right? And yet, a group of 10 scientists released this study in the journal Brain Behavior and Immunity, confirming that we inhale these tiny molds, and it is through our lungs that they plague our joints and muscles, causing severe damage. Once they affect our cartilage tissue, our joints are irritated, resulting in an inflammatory process, warning our bodies that something is wrong. This results in swelling, excess pain, redness, and an inability to move properly. The symptoms vary depending on the level of the mold exposure and how deep the damage is. I always wondered how joint pain appears in 30-year-olds with excellent health, while senior ladies and gentlemen haven't gotten the slightest discomfort. This explains it all. And it looked like my uncle's superfoods formula was attacking the problem on two fronts. First, They had the ability to flush out this cartilage-eating mold from your system. And second, to repair the damage it had done to the joint tissues and restore flexibility and mobility. I was amazed. I looked over the next ingredient, and this one did sound familiar to me. It was ginger root. According to phytotherapy research and the natural product research, ginger root is a plant rich in anti-inflammatory substances and properties that battle and flush out those tiny molds from the joints. This powerful plant contains potassium and niacin that first destroy the mold that corrodes the cartilage tissues and then eliminate the inflammation around the areas of your knees, shoulders, ankles, hips, and back. According to the scientific journal Rheumatology Research, potassium is a key mineral that not only diminishes pain and inflammation in chronic arthritis, but also prevents muscle cramps, promotes fast muscle recovery, and overall is necessary for the optimal muscular function in your body, preventing fatigue and even digestive problems. Now, according to research published in the scientific journal Nature and the National Library of Medicine, niacin, or vitamin B3, shields joint fragments and cartilage tissues against the molds, all while improving joint flexibility and elasticity. It eliminates the inflammation caused by the damaged cartilage and reduces tenderness in the joints while also boosting muscle movement and function. Next on my uncle's list was black walnut and papaya fruit. Black walnut is a tree native to North America, used for centuries in folk medicine, as it is a powerful antioxidant, anti-parasitic, and antifungal. According to the CABI Invasive Species Compendium and Phytotherapy Research, black walnut contains juglone, an antifungal agent that goes straight to the affected area and kills the mold that plagues the joints. It also employs specific enzymes that prevent fungal cells from metabolizing, regenerating, and spreading, thus shielding the cartilage tissue from future damage. The journal Frontiers in Pharmacology reports that black walnut exhibits tremendous joint health compounds such as omega-3 fatty acids, which, according to the Mediterranean Journal on Rheumatology, eliminate inflammation, swelling, and tenderness. Omega-3 fatty acids are highly praised for promoting overall health as they regulate and lower blood sugar levels, reduce the risk of cardiovascular diseases, boost and bulletproof our brain, eyes, and immune system. Next, we have papaya fruit that contains a special anti-inflammatory compound called papain. Papain significantly reduces swelling and inflammation all over the joint area and facilitates protein absorption, retention, and muscle growth. These activities prevent muscle cramps and soreness and reduce stiffness while guaranteeing higher flexibility and mobility. My uncle's list had 2 more ingredients, both of them rich in anti-inflammatory substances and joint pain relief elements. According to the Future Journal of Pharmaceutical Sciences and the Journal of Inflammation, aloe vera has demonstrated anti-inflammatory properties against chronic arthritis, bringing instant pain relief to swelling joints and restoring mobility and elasticity. Psyllium husk is a fiber that strengthens the body's immune responses against toxic agents like molds that corrode the cartilage tissues, while it reduces inflammation around the joints and improves instant movement control, diminishing soreness. Its compounds work to maintain joint tissues and cells healthy and intact. And according to a study published by the American College of Rheumatology, consuming high levels of fiber is associated with lower risk for inflammation and pain around joint areas such as the knee. Both aloe vera and psyllium husk contain compounds that calm down muscle tension and relieve soreness while stimulating mobility and flexibility. They exhibit a unique combination of antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory agents that team up and fight off the molds inside the cartilage cells, all while other powerful properties work to lower blood sugar and cholesterol levels, increase cardiovascular health, and boost brain and cognitive abilities while also reducing anxiety and stress. Reading all this information blew my mind. I was extremely excited to take this formula to my doctor and show him exactly what was possible to restore your joint health and live without that throbbing pain. I told him everything, how I struck my own father by accident, how my joints kept getting worse despite all the meds and pills he gave me, and how I ended up following a Navajo program that fixed my sore arms and legs in just a few weeks. I showed him everything my uncle showed me. I was waiting for a wow or an oh my God, but all I got was a disgusted look and a speech that left me in awe. My doctor told me this was old news. A bunch of scientists already checked out these traditional methods and confirmed they worked, but no one wanted to hear about them now. There are new ways now. There are surgeries and injections and modern technology. And if I want to follow these ancient methods, maybe I should go back to the village I came from because I'm not a fit for the big city life. I was puzzled. On one hand, I wanted to punch him in the face. And on the other, I knew he was so caught up in his modern reality that nothing could pull him out of it. Then it hit me. How many more people are out there just like him? Just like I used to be? How many people trust modern medicine blindly, even though it disappointed them or even hurt them over and over again? Sure, many of them, like my doctors, simply refuse to get out of their bubble and try something new, something guaranteed to help them, which has been used by hundreds of thousands of people who've preserved the mobility of their joints and muscles throughout the centuries. But some of them have no clue there are other ways than the regular methods that are being forced on them. And if they knew, they'd be willing to give it a shot and see the incredible results by themselves. So after thinking it through, I decided to cheat the system and share this formula my own way, without their help. I'll admit, it wasn't easy at all. I needed something very easy to follow, and my uncle told me that in order for this to work, the ingredients had to come from specific places, and the recipe needed to be 100% pure. So I asked my uncle to help me find what I was looking for. After weeks of research, we found the right company to help us with this. We had the formula and knew how it worked, so we needed to make sure the ingredients were sourced, keeping the same high quality. To be honest, this was extremely difficult. There are a lot of folks out there just trying to profit on your goodwill. People trying to make a quick buck who don't care about the quality of the ingredients. My uncle and I searched in every corner of the world until we found the right ingredients. We only wanted to work with certified manufacturers to make sure that we get top quality ingredients. It was an excruciating job. It took us several weeks, but we finally did it. I cried like a child as I was holding the formula that made me a normal human being again. We called it Artrinol, the all-natural Navajo formula that eliminates joint pain, restores your flexibility, balance, muscle strength, and movement without drugs and expensive surgeries in just a few weeks. Now, you probably have two questions at this point. How do I get my hands on this incredible natural formula? And when and in what quantities should I take this supplement? I'll admit, it's hard for me to answer the first question. The truth is, most of the ingredients used to make this formula are really difficult to source, which makes our ability to keep high stocks of Artrinol on hand almost impossible. Everyone that has already tested Artrinol and restored their joint health and got rid of the aggravating pain keeps asking us for more bottles for themselves and for their families and friends. Basically, making our stock run out in days every time we get a new shipment. And very important, we produce Artrinol in small batches only. Once we run out, you'll have to wait another 3 months. This way we can keep the quality of our product high so it will be 100% efficient. Since you're here right now, your product is reserved. But if you leave this page, we cannot guarantee supply when you come back. Now, before I answer the second question, when and in what quantities should you take the supplement, there's something very important you need to know. To make this formula work for you depends on what your goal is and what the severity of your joint pain is and how long you've been exposed to those toxic molds. Based on a test we made on 9,050 men and women, together with our partnering labs, we looked at the severity of their joint inflammation and the mold exposure. I must say the results were shockingly bad. So our safe response to do this is don't risk it. After seeing the results of 87,000 people from all over the world, for everyone that suffers from inflamed joints, chronic arthritis, or osteoarthritis, we recommend taking at least 3 bottles of Artrinol, enough for a period of 90 days. And if you want to be completely safe and don't take any chances, then we recommend at least 6 bottles or more. This way, you will be absolutely sure to repair the damage and gain 100% mobility and flexibility naturally. People like you and me, we have long forgotten how amazing these remedies can be, but the Navajo people still guard the secrets of nature and use them to stay healthy and strong all throughout their lives. This joint pain relief formula that I've tested on myself, as well as tens of thousands of other people, is so powerful that it can revoke chronic pain, inflammation, swelling, and stiffness. Once you've flushed out this dangerous toxin out of your body, you will not have to deal with this embarrassing problem ever again for the rest of your life. And there are 87,000 people and counting who've tried it ever since I started spreading the word. I get dozens of messages from them every single day telling me about their incredible results. Bill Cadell, 61 years old, from Minneapolis, says, Artrinol absolutely stunned me. Right now, I'm completely pain-free, and I'm still in awe of the difference it made. No more neck and back pain. You were right, Wayne. This is life-changing, and more people should know about it. Margaret Linkert, 63-year-old grandmother from Columbus, says, so many prescriptions, over-the-counter medications, remedies, and all for what? Nothing. The pain in my shoulders and knees only got worse. I learned about Artrinol on a Facebook forum when dozens of people praised it and talked about how it changed their life. I was amazed. I've always been an active person my whole life, and when arthritis came, all of my energy disappeared. Now, as the pain slowed down, I started to see my old self again. And here I am, 63, pain-free and moving like I used to. Words are not enough to describe how grateful I am, Wayne. Alfie Bennett, a 70-year-old from Boston, says, my arthritis has been really bad and the prescription my doctor gave me made me feel really sick. I just didn't want to take them. Artrinol is what I was looking for. Absolutely the best thing there is for joint pain. I have 0 issues with my joints and my back. After only a short amount of time, I started to see the difference and pain gradually reduced until it was no more. This is the real deal. Thank you, Wayne. These are just 3 of the 87,000 people that have tried the Navajo program ever since I put this video up, and my inbox is full of messages just like these from people who just can't believe they've gained back their joint health and mobility naturally. Right now, they're not using any sort of prescribed medication or walking equipment, which is great. But the best thing is that they finally got rid of all the excruciating pain, the burning and the tingling, the risk of losing their balance and falling, eventually being sentenced to a wheelchair for life. And as a bonus, they stopped wasting money on physiotherapies, doctors, and all sorts of useless creams. And that's why it was so hard to put a price on it. Because for me, it's more about spreading the word than it is about the money. But unfortunately, these days, even sharing a revolutionary new method like this doesn't come free. Putting together a system, making the website, spreading it on the internet, and even putting aside some money just in case we'll ever have to fight those people who are so desperately trying to get the formula removed from the internet. All these things are expensive. To be honest, at first I had no idea how to proceed. So after consulting with my uncle, I decided to make this video and put it up on the internet. So here's how you can be 100% sure the Navajo program is the real deal, and the results are just as good as promised. First of all, It will cost you pennies compared to all the other alternatives. I am completely against overpriced products because I know exactly what it's like to be tricked into buying expensive stuff that does diddly squat. Some internet experts recommend charging $247 for the program. My face probably twisted in an unnatural way because they rushed to tell me I could even charge more than $247. It's not enough for me because the product is really good and it would sell anyway. And yet, I wanted to charge the minimum possible, and I mean the tiniest price they could possibly come up with. Of course, they looked at each other like I was insane and tried to convince me I could get riches, fame, and a special place in paradise with my name written in gold letters. But I kept insisting they come up with the minimal price, so they did as I wished. The results of this productive little talk is that right now I'm able to tell you, you won't have to pay $247, $147, or even $99. I'm happy to say that today you can finally restore your joint mobility and health and get Artrinol for just $69 and not a penny more. This money will be used to keep the website up, pay the tech team behind the video, and a little surprise for you, a special customer service team that will be here for you 24/7 to help you with any questions or dilemmas you may have about the program. They know everything there is to know about the program. Most of them have already tried it themselves and have now taken full control over their health. So you can ask them anything that crosses your mind. And I'm going to do something even better. Our manufacturing partner gave us permission to offer a discount on the 6-bottle package of Artrinol. You can get them for only $49 per bottle, and you also get free shipping for as long as the supply lasts. And that's not all. If you wisely choose the 3 or 6 month supply package, you'll also get 2 additional bonuses worth $148 completely free of charge. Once you start your healing journey with Artrinol, you'll be gifted with an online guide, 40+1 easy steps to fight and prevent arthritis pain, physically and mentally, where you'll discover less common but very easy posture tips to stop the pain instantly. Weird, but very effective motion exercises that anyone can do from the comfort of their own couch. More than 5 bizarre but anti-inflammatory recipes for perfect joints and flexibility, and also relaxation and positive thinking techniques to turn all this into your advantage. Second gift bonus for you is the best you, mastering weight, muscle strength, and energy. Because with your new healthy joints also comes the best version of yourself. In this guide, you'll learn about the boosting energy hacks, out-of-the-box weight maintenance techniques, practical tips you can do every day for muscle strength, sleeping better, and lowering your stress levels to the point where you can handle absolutely anything that life throws at you. I can't wait for you to read them. You'll get immediate access to them right after placing your order. That's how confident we are that you'll appreciate the life-changing information these guides bring to your life. Now, if this sounds good to you, here's what you need to do next. Select the 6-bottle package or 3-bottle package. Hit the button below and fill the form on the other page. Once you've secured your order, in 7 days from now, you'll get Artrinol right at your doorstep. This program is about to turn your life around. So here's what I'm going to do next. Once you've selected your package below, hit the order button and secure your order. You're going to get a 60-day money-back guarantee on Artrinol. No questions asked, no hassle, no red tape. If you are not excited and happy that you can finally move your hands above your head, open the door with ease, and just feel the joy that a normal person does, then just send me an email and I will refund your entire investment without asking any questions and with no hard feelings whatsoever. Just imagine this. In almost no time, you'll be feeling the first results, and let me tell you, they feel good. Suddenly, it's like joint pain and stiffness were never there, and now you have broken free from this crippling prison. excruciating pain that was messing and haunting every single aspect of your everyday life, forcing you to stop doing your favorite things, taking care and playing with your grandchildren, attending family events, having a walk with your wife, and doing the simplest and easiest things like holding a pen or grabbing a glass of water. You end up believing that's just normal. They say it comes with age or maybe with spending too much time in front of the computer, but once you start this program, you'll see for yourself that having perfect joints and movements can be achieved effortlessly, and it's the most natural thing in the world. In just a few weeks, you'll throw these nasty and useless medications right into the trash bin and forget about them forever. And then if you want, you can go to your doctor and let him check your joints. You'll be impressed to see that you've gained 100% control over your movements without putting any special effort, without surgery or medication. And I'll bet you $100 right now that your doctor will make you take the test at least twice because he simply won't be able to understand what has happened to your knees, arms, back, or hips. That's how powerful the Navajo program is. And it's absolutely amazing that after so many centuries, it still works like a Swiss watch. Better than any other option out there, ranging from the most expensive meds to surgical interventions. Right now, this program is one click away from you. 1 second. Just click on the button below and we'll have the package sent to your door. You have a full 60-day money-back guarantee that protects your investment the whole time, so there's no risk whatsoever. Although, when you think of what you're risking here, compared with what you spend on one single visit to the doctor, not including the cost of steroids or injections that you have to go on over and over again. This is a one-time fee for a program that will last you for years to come, if not a lifetime. But even so, it's a guaranteed risk-free program, so you don't have to worry about a thing when you press that button. As I said before, the only thing you lose is a walking cane or drugs that destroy your body from the inside out. But what you gain, perfect joints, 100% pain-free movements in just 3 weeks, completely naturally without any side effects. Well, I think I can compensate for the loss at least 100 times over. Now look, this isn't a decision you need to sleep on. It's either taking control over your health now or slowly turning into a crippled person that becomes a burden to those around them. Right now, you have to choose between moving perfectly and without pain in just a few weeks from now, or spend your whole life changing prescriptions because your joints keep getting worse. Think about your health. Think about your job, your family, your money, your time. Why force yourself to go through this when you can choose the easy way, the natural way that repairs your joints effortlessly, and also dirt cheap if you compare it to any other method? So don't waste another second. Select the 6-bottle package or any other package you want. Click on the button below and give Artrinol a test try now. Still here? No worries, I understand, especially given the amazing secrets that I revealed in this presentation. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me answer some of the most important questions we receive about Artrinol so you can go ahead and select one of the packages below with full confidence. Is Artrinol right for me? I'll admit I get this question quite often, and the answer is always the same. If you suffer any kind of joint pain and haven't been able to stop it, then Artrinol is definitely right for you. The root cause of your joint pain is a dangerous nose leak, which is caused by a little known yet highly dangerous toxic mold found everywhere on Earth, from the soil, the air, and the water to the ceiling, the walls, and the windows of your house, which enters your body and causes almost irreversible damage to your joints. The key to fighting this invisible enemy is a set of natural compounds found in some specific traditional Navajo dishes and known by the Navajo people for centuries. Artrinol is 100% natural supplement which contains all the powerful ingredients from these superfoods, plus a mix of specific vitamins to boost its power. Once you start taking Artrinol, it will form a natural immune barrier to protect your joints and muscles from the mold infestation and start to repair the damage it has caused. And after this dangerous toxin is flushed out of your system, your joints will start to improve, and in almost no time, you'll be back to a normal and healthy individual, like you deserve to be from the moment you were born. Is Artrinol safe to use? Extremely so. Artrinol has been successfully tested by more than 87,000 men and women from all over the world with absolutely no reported side effects. Well, maybe the only side effect is you keeping your money in your pockets and not funding Big Pharma's shady business. Artrinol addresses the real root cause of your joint pain in an extremely safe and natural way. Now, of course, if you suffer from allergies or other certain medical conditions, at this very moment, we strongly advise that you consult with your medical doctor first. How should I use Artrinol? In order to achieve optimal results, we recommend you take 2 power capsules, one after breakfast and one after dinner daily, with a big glass of water. It should provide you with the necessary energy intake as well as extra protection against the dangerous mold. What do you mean by risk-free guarantee? We are so confident our formula will help you revive your joint flexibility that we decided to give a risk-free 60-day money-back guarantee when you secure your order today. Every single bottle of Artrinol comes with my personal promise. It will work for you and your 60-day 100% money-back guarantee. Even if you're only 99% satisfied and you don't want Artrinol anymore, send us an email and we'll refund every penny you invested. No questions asked, no hassle, no red tape. For how long will Artrinol still be available? First of all, you should know that the only place you can get Artrinol is right here on this page. As for how long Artrinol will still be available on this page, I'm not really sure. History has shown us that Big Pharma are not going to sit on the bench and watch as their profits turn into dust. They'll spend as much money as they need in legal fees to shut down this site. This may be your last chance to get Artrinol. The choice is up to you, of course, but I wouldn't wait. This website might be gone even if you accidentally hit the refresh button. Why haven't I heard of this before? So far, this Navajo secret has never left the community. It's been passed and secretly guarded from generation to generation. First of all, the Navajo people aren't extremely connected with the modern world we live in. And secondly, because most people would instantly reject this program because they blindly trust today's medicine. There's actual scientific evidence. In recent groundbreaking research published by a world-renowned team of scientists from the American College of Advancement in Medicine, proving this is guaranteed to work for anyone. If you're like me and modern medicine has disappointed you over and over again, promised you results that never happened, or worse, burden you with horrific side effects, then this natural program is right for you. What happens after I click the buy button? Once you click on the link below, you'll be redirected to our secure order page where your package awaits. Once you finish your order, which will not take you more than 60 seconds, we will ship the package directly to your door. Then you can finally escape this horrible chronic pain and heal your joints in just a matter of weeks with just 1 glass of water and 2 capsules per day. I hope I answered all your remaining questions. And by now, you can safely and confidently order your own supply of Artrinol today. Also, I feel like it's my duty to confess that in order to achieve the best results, my personal recommendation for you is to choose either the 6 or at least 3 bottle package. So go ahead and secure your package now. Fill in the shipping details on the other side and start enjoying the benefits Artrinol has prepared for you. I look forward to hearing your success story.